Welcome back to NocBro Nation, Jarrell here, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving the review for The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 14, Look at the Flowers. Now guys, it is just me today. Josh is doing some home renovations, so we weren't able to record on our normal Monday nights. So there will be a video for me again tomorrow, and then we're going to be getting back into our normal Thursday night recording, so you guys will have some videos from us over the weekend. Now, episode 14, Look at the Flowers, had a lot of really good moments. It had some really cool callback moments to Carol and in some previous seasons of the episode where she told Lizzie to look at the flowers. We got an awesome comic book edition character joining the fold, which it is amazing that we're getting this character. It's very early for this character, but really hoping that this character does work out. So let's start off with Carol and Negan, in which I call the deal. So Carol comes to Negan, asks him to do this deed for her, and I love the interaction between those two. I love the fact that Carol was kind of telling Negan, look, if you want people to remember you, you need to do this. Now, Negan's side of it was, I will basically do this, but if this is going to end up hurting Alexandrians, if this is going to have people dying, I'm not down for that. I want people to know that I did this deed to protect the Alexandrians and everyone else, not just to save my own skin. And I loved how Carol put it in perspective of him saying, look, if you want people to remember you, this is what we're going to do. Now, Josh and I assumed that Carol and Negan were going to take Alpha's head, bring it back to Alexandria, the gates would open, everyone would see that they both did this together, but no, it didn't go back that way. I was really upset in regards to Carol not living up to her deal. She basically turned her back on Negan and telling him, oh, why don't you just wait and then go back to Alexandria? Negan said it straight up, if I go back there right now, I'm going to die. And we know, of course, the number one person who would immediately kill him would be Aaron. But yeah, Negan can't just woefully walk back to Alexandria by himself without Carol being there to, corroborate his story. So that part of it, I didn't really enjoy seeing that happen, but it is a cool twist from the comic book source material of Negan not taking the head back to Alexandria. But I just thought they could have done that just a little bit better. The Negan and Daryl stuff was really cool. So going through our predictions and the promotional photos and the trailer breakdown, we knew that Alpha's head wasn't going to be going back to Alexandria. But it was cool seeing the pictures where Negan was taking Daryl to the Pikes to prove to him that he killed Alpha, and of course Daryl doesn't believe him. He doesn't see a head on a Pike, so he's just not going to believe him. But the biggest part of that was Daryl and Negan's interaction when the other Whisperers came in and were kneeling to Negan with him being the new Alpha. I loved that part. Josh loved it too. It was so cool. Negan was giddy. He was happy. He was playing along. But you have to think on the inside, and I think he said it a little bit later on when he was talking with Daryl, that he did like it a little bit. He liked being with the Whisperers, but only to a certain aspect of it. But it was just really cool with Negan, wanting to get the shotgun and kind of playing along. It was the coolest thing I've seen in The Walking Dead in a long time, and it was really cool. We knew that Negan wasn't going to kill Daryl. We knew that he was going to kill the other Whisperers, but that part was really actually cool. And the later parts where Daryl and Negan were talking to each other, it was cool to where Negan kind of said, "Look, yeah, I did enjoy being with the Whisperers because I kind of felt like myself again. I felt a part of something. I was locked up in a jail cell for so many years, and he kind of lost himself a little bit." So he's basically telling Daryl this whole thing, and Daryl actually understands exactly what Negan is saying. And I just loved it. And it was just Daryl coming to the grips of knowing that his best friend Carol was the one who let Negan out. The Carol and Alpha hallucination stuff, I thought that was really cool. It went on just a little bit too long, I think, but it was giving a lot of callbacks to previous seasons. It was basically Alpha in her head talking about the death of her son, talking about the death of Sophia, talking about her husband Ed abusing her. And we got some lines in there. I can't remember specifically what she said, but I think she said a line that Ed probably used to call her back in the day when he was abusing her. And so I loved in the end, close to the end, where Alpha was telling Carol, to look at the flowers. Now, it looked like Carol was going to that building to get a boat to travel somewhere else. And I loved where Alpha was kind of telling her, you weren't happy when you were at sea. It was kind of, it's not a way of Alpha telling her this. It was in Carol's head. This was all Carol's hallucination and thought process, but it was coming out through Alpha because even though Negan did the deed of killing Alpha, it still didn't seem Carol was very happy that it happened. I think she wanted to get it done, but I think in a way she still felt guilty as to everything that she did and everything that she put everyone through to get it done, or waiting on Negan to get it done anyway, and I think she felt guilty about that. So pretty much the ending, awesome stuff, was Beta and Alpha, Beta-fying Alpha's head. There was a comic book character that joined The Walking Dead only for that episode. It was Rufus, the guy who Beta actually pushed his face to Alpha's dead head to get his face bit off, and he also killed him later on. Now, Rufus was a guy, he was a soldier in the Commonwealth Army in the comic books, had a very low, minimal role in the comics, didn't have many lines, he didn't have a big presence in there, but it was kind of cool to bring a comic book character that comic book readers will know of and kind of switch his character line around to make him a whisperer. But it was really awesome to see how Beta reacted to this. Now, he kind of reacted a little bit similar in the comic books. He was more filled with vengeance than he was with, crying, and kind of, since we didn't get a backstory to Beta in the comic books, it was cool to see him in that building and actually see the record with his face on it, Half Moon. So stay tuned for another video. We actually have another reveal of Beta and his origin. It was actually Ryan Hurst provided this information, I believe, on Talking Dead, so stay tuned for another video on that. But it was really cool to see Ryan Hurst, his actual face, on an album cover and showing the name that he used when he did music. I thought that was absolutely awesome. We got to, I commend The Walking Dead of doing a really good job of doing a cool backstory for Beta. Different than the comic books. In the comics, guys, Beta was a famous actor and an NBA basketball player. And so I think this was really cool to change it up for the show and have him be, a famous musician, which is really cool. But I really like the fact of Beta, cradling Alpha's head. And he lost his mentor. He lost someone who brought him back from the brink of being in that mental institution with him losing his best friend. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it to death. And we saw at the end, of course, where Beta takes half of Alpha's face, puts it on his own mask. So now Beta has a really cool mask, which I hope to see cosplayers at Comic-Cons doing. Half his best friend's face and half of Alpha's face. I thought that was just brilliant. Absolutely cool. So guys, the big moment at the end was when Eugene, Yumiko, and Ezekiel are in I believe it's Charleston, West Virginia. The skyline that they showed was actually, I believe that is the Pittsburgh skyline, but it was basically giving a callback to the comic books, because in the comics, Yumiko, Magna, Michonne, Sadiq, and Eugene go through Pittsburgh to go to Ohio to meet Stephanie, and they run into the princess. And so the actual shot of the princess, when they showed it a little bit farther back and they showed her in the distance and our group kind of in the foreground, that was textbook comic book panel source material right there. It was the exact same setup of what they did in the comics. It was really cool, and I cannot wait till next episode. I think we're going to get a lot more with the princess, and I'm really hoping that they do some cool, they take some lines from the comic book source material and give it to her, the actress. Paola Larazzo is her name. I hope I pronounced that right. But it was really cool. So we're super excited to see how they do the princess. We hope that she does translate well into the show. She's a really goofy character. Of course, when you're reading it in the source material, she's goofy, but seeing it live action, I think, could work out really well. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video and hope you enjoyed the review. Let us know in the comments your thoughts of what you thought of episode 14, Look at the Flowers. And guys, I can't believe it that we only have 2 episodes left, but technically 1. Episode 15 is their true finale, with episode 16 being postponed to later in the year. And I guarantee that we're going to get a crazy cliffhanger at the end of this episode to where we're going to have to wait months before we can finish this season. But let me know in the comments your thoughts of episode 14. Thank you guys so much for watching. We truly appreciate all of the support that you guys give us. And stay tuned for more videos from us. I am Jarrell with NocBro Nation, and I'll see you later.